Auto Central, powered by Auto Trader on cliffcentral.com.
There we go, and we're back. Welcome. You are here with Auto Central, us, Chad, George, and Vulmarie.
Hello, we're back.
Yes, we're back. We've
got some nice topics.
Yeah, just before the break, we're sitting here discussing what we need to discuss, and we can go into great lengths to think about all of these. And I think the first one that we need to do, I think we're going to let's touch on that Dieselgate thing that we're talking about. Now, of course, they call
Why did the voice tone go down?
Oh, because this is
Don't
dark,
step on
deep
anyone's toes.
conspiracies, these.
But it doesn't seem to be for South Africa.
It's not, and that's the bit that
Yes.
is the big crux of the news now this week. Is
Again, like we said earlier, is our rules in this country.
Exactly. Now, the big thing, if you don't know what it is, Dieselgate, they've just named it that. VW was caught out joking, manipulating emissions tests. So the cars would pass an emissions test and they can put them on sale because the way that it works with the emissions controls...
The politically correct term was irregularities.
Yes.
Well, yeah... We're going to call it what it is, okay?
Absolutely.
We're going to call it what it is. And it is just that they were sitting there manipulating the results, and, well, they got caught out. And
but how do you manipulate the results, though?
Their engines could pick up, and I didn't go into too much detail with the technicality of it, because for exactly the reason that VW released in their press release in the beginning of the week, I knew that from the get-go. I was like, this is fantastic, but this is international news. This actually doesn't apply to South Africa. Okay.
I mean, in Europe, it's a huge
massive, and that's exactly why it's coming in, is because it's the EU2. Yeah, EU5. EU5 is actually the Euro 5 emissions regulations from the EU Commission as well. Comes in there and says that they're not allowed to emit more than so much carbon monoxide. It is nitrogen oxide emissions. Okay, let's just get that right. Nitrogen oxide emissions from their vehicles, and then if it exceeds that, they can't sell the vehicle. It's not suitable for sale. So they have to keep it below that in order to be able to have a vehicle that they can sell. And this commission controls, naturally, what can be sold and what goes out there. Their vehicles were picking up that when a test was being done and the software was changing it so that the emissions was considerably lower than when you
for the test.
Just for the test.
And then afterwards.
And then as soon as you start driving again properly, then it's
back to normal.
Back
it resets
back
itself
to Puff
or
the Magic Wagon.
Yeah.
Okay. It's diesel, it is.
Oh, but how clever must you be to have that kind of technology? In any case, I think it's wrong, but it's brilliant.
It is. But it's not very ethical, in the execution.
But why would they take a risk like that? Why would a company... Surely this couldn't have been intentional?
Do you think it was intentional?
They knew about it. Oh, they definitely knew about it, because in the beginning they were caught out, and a figure like 6 million, 4 million, 6 million, something like that said, listen, those vehicles need to be recalled. And VW actually stepped up to the plate and said, sorry guys, you know what, it's actually closer to 11 million vehicles that we need to recall. That's the actual number of vehicles that have been fitted with this device. So they owned up. They said, hey, you caught us out, did the crime, we'll do the time, do what needs to be done. They knew about it. They were clever about it. My belief behind it is that when these commissions come through, they impose an unrealistic time frame. They sit and they say, okay, well, Vulmarie, you need to abide by X, Y, and Z by December. Otherwise, in 2016, you can't sell any vehicles. So you're going to run around with your hair on fire, waving your handbag in the air, saying, I can't design a new engine in 3 months. So you have to come up with a quicker, easier way. And no doubt this was something that they had in the back. Oh, we can do this.
I mean, I wouldn't have thought that VW would have done this maliciously.
Would take such a risk.
Or take such a risk or be intentional.
Yeah, it's a... What do we... Oh, she's saying... What did she say?
No idea.
I don't know. Give her a chance to talk.
Put the mic on.
Well, go. Pull in.
Come in. So I don't think that it would have been done intentionally. And, a big company like VW, would they really have done anything maliciously? I wouldn't think so.
But those are big numbers. And now they have to stop how many cars?
11 million.
11 million that they're being recalled on, hey?
And there was some sales literally stopped of I don't know how many thousands of vehicles. Surely a company can go under for that. This is a big thing.
It is a big thing. It is a big thing. I think VW's done the right thing. They've apologised. That's that is the right thing to do. As much as you can do. But I don't think it's going to take them down. It's
no, but because what is really the issue now? It is the environment.
Yes.
It's an environmental issue. Yeah. So surely it's still not the consumer's necessarily issue or concern, although it should be. Who's gonna take them up on this? So we have you in here now.
Yes.
So everyone.
I know, because I can't stop myself. I've been following this thing like crazy.
Great.
Because I think it's gonna crash the economy of Germany. 11 million cars they have to recall.
But I agree. I really agree. This is a big thing.
And the worst thing about it, as far as I can see, is that it's like boardroom politics.
Uh-huh.
I think it was like a family feud.
What makes you say that?
Because who gets thrown out? Who gets thrown out for this? It's Pierre, right?
Pierre is gone.
Yeah, but that's
he handed
my
over
point.
to Müller. Müller's putting out the fire. He can't be held accountable for this.
But why is Pierre gone?
Aha.
Because
coincidence.
He's the great son of
Mr. Ferdinand.
Ferdinand Porsche. I think it's a family feud. And that's what.
But they all own
very interesting.
The VAG group owns Porsche. So Porsche is in there. I don't think so.
But now he's going to come back.
There was a study done, and when the first couple of diesel vehicles were found to be breaking or causing irregularities in that was while Pierre was still in power. That was found out. That was a handful of vehicles 3 years ago. This is only
Why didn't he stop it then?
Why did the man resign?
But that's why he resigned.
Now nobody can.
He saw the trouble coming.
Nobody can be held accountable because the man actually accountable for it isn't there anymore.
Resigned. Oh, you see.
But now
this is conspiracy theory that we're going. We're going very big with conspiracy theory here.
Theory, though.
That's a good one.
I like it. It's not a conspiracy theory.
It's like Discovery Channel
Here's
stuff.
a conspiracy theory. So the engineer that discovered the fault.
Yes, I want to know who that is.
His last name is, I forgot what his first name is. It's something like John or something.
Is he still there?
But his name is something German. And this.
So you think there's a German tie there?
It's gonna crash the economy, and I'm just saying the only economy still viable in Europe. Coincidence? I think not.
The thing is, we can watch all of this transpire because the main thing that they're telling us now is that South Africa is fine.
It's safe, yeah.
South Africa is safe. And that's what this all boils down to, is the fact that...
Go now. I couldn't stop myself.
That's perfect. That's fine.
Thanks for your
input. Should have grabbed the mic out there.
Thank you for the input because that's exactly... Yeah, that's exactly...
Let's assume...
I didn't want to go into that. I know this stuff, but I didn't want to go into that because it's a bit of a minefield. It is.
But it's very interesting and it makes sense because I kind of agree with her. I think this you can be as big and strong as VW, but something like that is big. This is
Alice,
big numbers.
The rabbit hole goes deeper.
Yes.
Okay, but let's talk about South Africa particularly. I mean, if we're okay, and let's say like worst case scenario, VW no more. Worst case scenario.
Absolute worst case scenario. They're way too big to
what's going to happen
completely.
The other vehicles are only going to get sales because people still need to drive cars.
Yeah.
So
we're going to continue to sell.
Crashing the German economy, I seriously doubt it. Hurt it maybe.
Yeah, injure it.
But crash it, I'm not so sure. Because guess what? People will begin buying BMWs instead of VWs. People will begin buying Mercedes.
But you still have to get rid of your VW then. Then what?
Yeah, but somebody will step in. I mean, look at SsangYong. Look at
that was my thinking as well. Someone will take over.
Look at Daihatsu.
There's so many other brands, and they're so multifaceted.
Exactly.
That it's not. It's going to put a dent in the progress, and that's about it. And then there's still the rest of the world. Like we say, we only have to abide by EU 2.
Yes.
And that's why all these vehicles are still legal.
Yeah.
And they still abide all this.
Especially, in South Africa.
In South Africa, it's still legal. It's not emitting anything any worse. It abides by all our regulations. It can still be sold.
Yeah, but isn't our regulations too low?
Our regulations are very low. I don't want to... The tone in your voice, the tone in your voice, put that across as this is a bad thing. Our regulations are too low. No, our regulations are fantastic.
But isn't it a progression?
For performance.
For performance.
Exactly. I know. I get it. But you know what? We got to think long term here. I mean,
Joburg's the largest man-made forest in the world. Surprisingly enough. Did you know that?
No.
Joburg is the largest man-made forest in the world. Johannesburg.
It doesn't
We're
change
one of the greenest
the
places.
Now, what's that
already.
got to do with the carbon emissions?
Because this is all
It's
about
environmental.
It's
stuff.
environmental
Okay.
studies and that. And
Okay.
South Africa and Johannesburg is still thriving beautifully. Granted, you
Yeah.
come to Joburg, you can taste the air and see the air you breathe, but
I
it's
don't.
still
I
very
don't
green.
think this has the potential of bringing down an entire economy.
And
If
certainly
if
not
it happens
locally.
in South Africa, for those people who drive VW, chances are some other OEM will step in, support the car.
So keep
why would they
driving
want?
your car,
Why would they
yeah.
want to support the car? Because they would want that to become their
They
customer.
are good cars.
They would want that previous VW driver to become a XYZ driver, so therefore they would step in and support the car until that car's off the road, and they can switch them into whatever the other car is. So things have a way of working themselves out. Bringing down an entire economy, I don't think so.
But can you imagine how upset you must be with someone to know this or to find it out and then to give this info to the world, because it's huge.
You paint a target on your back.
Feud.
Absolutely, you paint a target on your back.
Yeah.
Someone upset that employee.
But
that's why they're calling it Dieselgate, because it's like the Watergate scandal.
It is, and it's massive scandals.
Yeah.
And now the questions are being raised: who else? Who else has been doing this? And it is, sadly, we're talking about the time frames, just going back to that, and the reason why these sort of things happen is they're given too short a time to rectify and to build a vehicle that complies by these regulations. And the same thing is happening in petrol, okay? Not that they're juking the results of the tests and that, but the direct injection was a quick way. That's it. They're finding shortcuts. Direct injection was the quickest way that they could change and modify the motor or one component of the motor so that it now passed emissions regulations. The long-term testing hadn't been done on this, and it has been found that direct injection is not the healthiest for a motor. You need a certain amount of petrol to wash over the valves and all that to keep it healthy. It's almost like lubrication. So a carbon buildup starts happening on the valves, and that's led to a couple of motors being destroyed, especially in the early stages. I'm not going to mention the manufacturers in there, but this has happened. And they haven't been given the time, so it's only after a little while that they finally get out to being able to put something together that passes all the emissions regulations.
Yeah.
Auto Central, powered by Auto Trader on CliffCentral.com.